I think one of the most important things that I saw in this story from the jump was the idea that it could happen anywhere. So we're looking at these questions of police accountability and corruption and inaction in the face of sex crimes in Appalachia in this case. But I allude to in the piece how each of those issues crops up all around the country in different contexts. So when you examine the systems that fail to permit something like this to happen for years, in this case, this local businessman, Sean Williams, was something of an open secret, which is why we have that title on the piece. You know, you talk to people in this community, and they knew that he was trailed by these allegations that he was drugging and raping women, maybe victimizing children, and yet through years of police reports and strange incidents around him, the police did nothing. And then they were really resistant to do anything when this prosecutor came along and refused to drop the matter. They just got rid of her, in fact. That is a fact pattern that can play out in virtually any city, anywhere. And it's a reminder that the oversight mechanisms at a state and federal level are really important. In this case, we have all these unanswered questions and all this circumstantial evidence about corruption claims. And people in the community saying, well, why couldn't we get some of these oversight entities seriously investigating and telling us whether they found anything? As is, what we have is those entities being evasive. It appears from my reporting that they looked at the problem a little bit, but that to the extent that they did any investigation, it was seriously inadequate. There's a number of lawyers around this case that raised that allegation. And I think that's all important to remember right now because, as you say, the Trump administration is cutting these very offices. The Department of Justice's Public Integrity Section, which is responsible for looking at police corruption, is a skeleton crew now. It is just a handful of people. These kinds of corruption claims are much more likely to be handled by politically appointed U.S. attorneys. And as we've seen with the Eric Adams case in recent weeks, politically appointed U.S. attorneys can ultimately be much more manipulable when the people in power want investigations dropped. So I think we should all be concerned about the way this is headed.